Welcome back to the big question. Our guest tonight, like we told you, Machakos County Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua. Thank you so much for making time for the big question tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm very glad to be here again.
Thank you very much. We're talking about the launch of the Maendeleo Chap Chap movement that happened on Saturday. What do you think is the future? Talk to us on 22422 on Twitter using the hashtag the big question. I'll look at some of your texts here on 22422. Somebody says, Ati Maendeleo Chap Chap, how about serving your county residents first? Syokimau Katani roads are in a horrible state and the governor has done nothing. How then can he handle national issues? We have here Jane from Nakuru. Honorable Alfred Mutua is a perfect example of a real leader. Keep it up, sir. And when the time comes that you stand for presidency, trust me, you'll be most Kenyans' choice. She actually says, Jane from Nakuru, this might cause you problems, but I'll just read it. She says, I love you, sir. All right. Either way, okay, I don't know why she's getting... Okay.
But thank you very much.
We may have to ask her what kind of love that is. But anyway, thank you, Jen, for your SMS. Already she is thinking that you may run for the presidency. We'll question that a bit later on. But first, what is this, very briefly, I know you've talked about it before, what is this movement about?
Well, what you're saying is this. It's a very simple concept. You and I have one life. Once you die, you don't come back. So, why should we live a bad life when we are alive, whereas it is possible for us to have better quality of life? What others have done in other nations in the West and in the Asian countries, it is possible for us to also do in this country. And so what we're saying is that it's time for us to wake up, especially a lot of us who are young people, who we feel we've been shortchanged for so many years. We should be further than where we are. Our future, our livelihoods are actually being traded by political rhetoric and games. And we are saying, enough of the games. There's a time for everything. Even the scriptures say, let's concentrate on development. Let's concentrate on actually changing lives. That is the only way, when you're living, you're going to have what you're supposed to have. Because once you go, you don't come back. It's that simple. That's a simplistic standard 6 explanation to a child when they ask what is Maendeleo Chap Chap. But it is basically a political, socio-economic movement that aims to galvanize all of us together, regardless as Kenyans, regardless of political affiliations, regardless of religious affiliations, so that to say that inawezekana na itawezekana. Let us not be minimalistic. Let us aim for the stars. At least we'll get to the moon. Right.
You're saying it's also a political, social, economic movement.
Yes.
Headed by who? You?
I don't say I'm the one who's basically come up with it, but we've got many people involved. I'm calling them friends of Maendeleo Chap Chap, and I'm asking many Kenyans, wherever they may be, to be friends of Maendeleo Chap Chap. If you believe that your life can be better, if you believe that we all have a role to play to speed up development, then you are basically a friend of Maendeleo Chap Chap. Basically, we are saying is that, why wait? If you can get piped water into homes within a year, why wait for 10 years? If you can be able to build roads so that our people are not carrying dead bodies up hills because they can't drive there, why wait for 10 years? If it is possible, why don't you do it now?
So what is it supposed to do? Talk to people and tell them you can ask for your leaders to do this? Or is it supposed to help in doing this all over Kenya?
It's supposed to do two things. One is to actually change the mentality, to tell people that the responsibility of this country lies in each one of us. We need to hold our leaders responsible. We need to have a scorecard for our leaders.
Right.
So you elected an MCA, you elected a governor, you elected a senator, you elected an MP. What have they done? When they promised, because we've been promised for many years. Because once you hold people accountable to actually do development, they are able to do it. And our leaders have many challenges, I understand that. But there is also a lot of lethargy in our governments. So once you hold the leaders accountable, that's done. The second thing, what we need to do is that we need to be able to galvanize, pull forces together and share ideas.
As leaders?
As a people. This is not a movement just for leaders. This is a movement for the people. Okay. You know, we're doing it the other way around. You know, in Kenya traditionally, you've got a group of elite leaders who decide how the country is going to run, who decide what's going to be done, who decide what
the next... You're a leader.
Yeah, I'm a leader, but also I'm a leader who is focused on the people. I'm a leader who is focused on the reality of where we are and where we are going. I'm a leader who understands that those women who are sleeping hungry, those children who are dying in hospital also need a voice, but we need to empower the community. When President Obama was here, he talked about how power needs to be within the people, where people make a decision, and where we have equality of women and youth, where youth actually rise up and actually take control of their own affairs.
This is not a political party.
It's not a political party. It's a political movement. Could it
later on change it to be a political party, mutate into a political party?
I don't know. I'm not a prophet. You know, we cross the bridge when we get to it.
So that could happen.
That could happen.
Now, but because it's a political, socio-political,
economic movement.
Yes. Doesn't that go against you being a member of the Wiper Democratic Movement? It has its manifestos, clearly spelling out social issues, political issues, economic issues. Why would you have a different one, a parallel movement?
Well, it's not parallel. It's totally different from what they have. And the Constitution gives me the freedom of association and also freedom to come up with new ideas. If we constrain ourselves that just because you're in Wiper, just because you're in TNA, URP, you're not allowed to think outside the box. You're not allowed to come up with new systems to improve society, then we are ending up in doom. So, and it is not a party, it is a movement. So I don't know why people are scared. I think the only people scared of the movement are the people scared that they will be held accountable for what they have or have not done over the years in terms of development. Because political power is not just meant to make you powerful, it's not just meant to make you comfortable, it's not just meant to make your family rich. It's supposed to be able to change the lives of people. What have you done and what are you doing?
Right, that's fair enough. Some people have still been saying that. But the clarity I'm seeking is this. You belong to Wiper Democratic Movement Party.
Yes, and I'm a good member of Wiper. And I'm in Wiper,
So you believe in their manifestos?
I believe in their manifestos.
Which has all these aspects?
Not really.
It has these aspects.
It has some of these aspects, but we are taking a notch higher. It is like, for example, we all believe in traveling. We all believe we are going from Nairobi to Mombasa. Yes, some want to take a tuk-tuk, some want to take a bus, some of us choose to take an aeroplane. You still get there, but the mode of travel is different. The mode of communication is different. So all manifestos of all political movements are improve the quality of life.
But
ours is, how do you do it? It's not a question of rhetoric. It's not a question of saying we need to do this. It is, how are you doing it? And is there a marked difference between what you say you're going to do and what you do? Because people have manifestos for political power, but are they able to carry out those manifestos? And that's the difference between us and the West. When a leader is put into office in the West, they are held accountable to the manifestos.
Okay, I'll come back to that shortly. I want to introduce now a soundbite from Wiper Party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, if that is ready. Yes, we have it. Let's have a look.
Leave that to the people. Simply. Leave that to the people. I've said that because I think what Governor Alfred was saying was he wants to be a community leader. And I said I don't offer any competition in that area. I've refused completely to discuss Governor Alfred Mutua. And even for you, Francis, I refuse, and I've told you, leave that to the people of Machakos. People are very wise. People can see through schemes.
Right, on the 16th of January, they say there'll be a meeting to decide whether you'll still be a member of Wiper. And we've seen some actually saying you're being used to divide the Kamba vote and the Code, to scuttle the Code vote in Ukambani. That is why we have this Maendeleo Chap Chap movement.
Well, I think that's a simplistic way of looking at it. I can see where they're coming from. But the issue of Maendeleo Chap Chap started a long time ago. As soon as I got into government, I started Maendeleo Chap Chap. As a movement, I used to talk about it. Everybody has talked about Chap Chap for many years. So it's not that it has come right now. So the argument of dividing the Kamba community is something that is used to justify the status quo. What is the status quo? The status quo today is that the Kamba community is one of the poorest in the country, regardless, despite all the available resources. The Kamba community has, I think, the highest number of unemployed young people in the country. It has unexploited minerals. The Kamba community has suffered with lack of water for so many years. So when somebody comes with a voice that says, wait a minute, it is possible for us, instead of rhetoric, to actually change the lives of our people and provide them water, provide them electricity, provide them roads, provide them basic proper health care. Now you become a divider of the community. In other words, they would like her to remain there in poverty, whereas for themselves they live in good homes with good with vehicles and good lifestyle. Their kids are overseas, but yet our people remain on the ground. That's actually what we want to change. We are saying that era is gone. With our new constitution, we are saying you either focus on Mwananchi, not rhetoric, or you're not useful anymore.
Right.
Yes.
But we've been seeing some still complaining, like I've just read your text here of somebody saying the problems they're having with roads in Syokimau.
Exactly.
We have, and I read more people talking about contractors not being paid in Machakos and everything.
Exactly.
What makes you think then Machakos County is the ideal place or the model for you to now go out to the rest of the country and talk to them about this movement? And I'll read this SMS that I read just some moments ago. And they actually started by saying, Eti Maendeleo Chap Chap, how about serving your county residents first? You are a county governor for Machakos County. They give you a mandate to serve the Machakos County. Are you saying where Machakos County is economically, socially, politically, is at a point where now you want to look at the whole of the country, not even Machakos anymore?
Not really. You see, the challenges that Machakos faces, and for example, the issues of Katani, Syokimau, the roads, it's even worse. I mean, I hear people from Syokimau complaining, and I understand where they're coming from, and I have a program for them. And I remember the people of Mudesia in Divine, who actually carry bodies of their loved ones up hills and across rivers because they can't drive for kilometers because they have no roads. We've had years and years and years of leaders who've basically not done what they were supposed to do. That is what we are correcting. All these issues will not be sorted out all at once. What is important is that there is a plan that is going to be executed, and there's going to be improvement. That is what matters. Now, about the question about the model, Machakos being a model. No, it is not the model. We've done a few things, but what we're saying is that...
like, you've done a few things, just like other counties have done a few things.
But then, what I'm saying is that I'm taking the courage, and that is my constitutional right. That is my right as a human being. I'm taking the courage to say, what we've done here, if we shared it with the rest of the country, maybe we will even get better ideas, not just for Machakos, but for the rest of the country. What you're saying is that if I go to Busia, for example, if I go to Kisumu, for example, if I go to Mandera, I will be able to meet people in this movement who will say there's even a better idea on how to fix things.
But you have people,
and then share it across the country.
You have people.
Then we have a great country we call Kenya.
Right. Let me read another text here. Somebody says, Dr. Alfred Mutua, it's unfair that you have refused to pay contractors like myself who rendered services in health department amounting to 7 million for the last 2 years. We have been auctioned by the bank. Please sort out this mess fast, since your chief officer in charge of health has been hiding all along. This is, I mean, these are problems in Machakos County.
Those are issues, but you know,
the question is, let me just finish. Let me just finish. The question is, Machakos itself has issues. Why would you want to go now to the rest of the country? You have not sorted out Machakos so that people can now look at Machakos as a model in this country, so that you now tell other people about Maendeleo Chap Chap movement.
The issues that Machakos has and the issues that Kenya has can never be sorted out before you can ever move out. Every country has issues. If you go to I lived in the United States for many years. They still have ghettos, they still have drive-by shootings, they still have things, but they still are able to come here and say, we've got a USAID program to assist you in this. They have got these ideas they want to share with us. We are not, you know what I mean? So you can't say that you have to be perfect before you can share your ideas with others. We want the others to even, what we are seeking is this. As Machakos, we would like to share our ideas so that others can actually build up on our ideas and even help us in Machakos improve what we have as we improve the rest of the country.
Economically?
What's so hard about that? Let me talk about the contractors, for example. Contractors have all been paid. I agree. Not all, but some. Why? Because after my first year in office, I realized that there is the old age habits of some contractors doing work and they don't, they are paid, but you go to the ground, there's nothing. So I undertook a process of auditing. So we have been going through a process of auditing. If you have worked, you will be paid. You are getting paid. It is a process. We've asked the audit office to help us, because you find some people coming and claiming they have not been paid. You go to the ground, they only did the foundation, and then they vanished. That old trick, and I've said, I'm not going to pay people just because they are demonstrating, just because they're on Twitter, just because they write to media houses.
It's also their right to do that.
Yeah, it's their right. But I will only pay after it has been verified that you deserve to be paid.
Right.
People in this country need to get a culture.
This is somebody talking for 2 years. This is something that has been pending for 2 years.
Yes, no, it's not 2 years.
He's saying that is what he is saying.
It's not 2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're talking about. You know why it's not 2 years? Because it's only 1 year ago that we started the projects for the hospitals.
Okay.
So somebody pushing on 2 years is
right.
basically exaggerating.
You're talking about sharing ideas with other counties. Are you talking about, because what you've talked about now when you're telling me this mostly was about the economy or economically?
Yeah, political, social and economic.
Political how? That is what I want to know.
Political is basically to tell people that you as a human being needs to request or demand more from your governments and from your society.
In terms of what? Accountability? Or?
In terms of accountability, in terms of actual development that you can see, in terms of less rhetoric, more development. Because as I've said, in this country we're in a heightened place of political rhetoric. You would think there's an election coming up in the middle of next week, because we are always in that program of electioneering. That is very detrimental to us. We've got a lot of young people sitting at home, worried that they're not employed while their leaders are busy politicking.
But there
and I'm saying once you reduce the political temperatures, you're able to achieve more development. That has been seen all over the world. Countries where the temperatures of political machinations and electioneering throughout are higher, so is the rate of poverty high. So, you know, it's basic science. The more you politic, the less you develop.
Do you believe there could be counties in the country currently performing better than Machakos does?
Yeah, I think in many ways. For example, Murang'a is performing very well in terms of agriculture, more than Machakos. I like to borrow those ideas. You go to Meru, they're doing some great things there. You go to, for example, Migori, they're doing great things in terms of interaction and working together with the different communities. So I'm saying that, yes, Machakos has done its bit. We've done slightly more. We have been rated county #1. And I'm saying this Machakos Maendeleo Chap Chap that we had now needs to go away from just Machakos to the rest of the country. We share an idea. Why are people afraid of that? Why are people concerned?
You know, say you want to use it as a political vehicle for 2017 to launch your presidential bid.
No, I'm not running for president. Make that clear. I'm not running for president in 2017. At
any point? Or just 2017?
I don't. You know, I always say that God decides what will happen to anybody. But 2017, I still have so much unfinished work in Machakos, and I hope that my people of Machakos will give me another mandate to actually, you know, turn it around. I really want to make it the Dubai of this area.
You've been talking about sharing these ideas, and mostly I've heard you talk about accountability and demanding accountability from leaders.
Exactly.
You, critics will say, and we know that you have blocked the EACC from investigating you.
Not investigating.
From arresting you. First, why would you do that? If you're really talking about accountability, there was a case that was you are being investigated on. Why would you want that to proceed?
Because of the malicious intent of the case, and I don't want to comment on it because it's already in court and it is going to be listened to. Because of the way it was presented, has nothing, as far as I'm concerned, to do with integrity.
But that is according to you.
It is according to me. It has nothing to do with integrity.
This is an independent institution. I mean, it's up to you now to go and prove them otherwise.
We have not blocked them. What you have said is that we need certain things to be cleared first. And that is what.
You went to court and
we went to court and said they cannot. It was called an injunction. They said pending the hearing of an application where we have asked for a specific interpretation, whether as a governor in Machakos, once we sit in cabinet and we decide that we want an office built, and the team that does procurement goes and does their thing, whether I should be held accountable for what other people have done. That's what we have asked them to do. Whether I should be there watching over every procurement that happens in Matu, across, in Masinga, across, everywhere across. Yes, but also President Uhuru is the president. When things are happening all over, does he go through all the documents and approve? So that's what we're asking. So we've asked him to give us that interpretation. Whereas they're doing that interpretation, they put an injunction stopping any other move until the court decides on that interpretation. The court may decide in any way, and I don't want to broach that issue of the court.
We're not going into the merits of the case, but the question is, if you pride in yourself in accountability, this, if you're saying you don't agree with how malicious it was and everything, that is you as a person saying that. This is an independent institution. You will have your day in court or wherever you'll be to prove it otherwise.
Yeah, but should I have my day in court? Should I have my day in court? Should I be charged for something I don't think I should be charged to? You know, we only have one life. So why should my name be put there that I was charged, whereas I don't deserve to be charged? You know, there's fundamental issues here. Just because you believe in accountability doesn't mean that you open yourself to be abused. By an independent investigative institution. By whatever system. If you believe that you have a constitutional right that is not above this. And let me tell you about integrity. Integrity is about saving people's money, and it's also about stealing and also showing where your money is. And I'm the only leader in this country to go to EACC and tell them, can you come and investigate me? Look at my wealth. Look at everything I have. Talk to everybody I have. Because even the issue that is being investigated has nothing to do with stolen money. It has to do with procedures and everything. And procedures. Look at Mutua. Because this country, when people talk about corruption, that corruption has bled this country free. Corruption has bled this country dry. What is it? It is about stealing people's money. And that is the main cause. So we need to start focusing on people who are stealing money. We know other things are important and other laws are important. I'm not disregarding that. But what I told EACC is this: look at my records, look at my bank records, look at my spouse's records, look at my family's records, look at everything I have, talk to my friends, talk to my business partners, look at my land acquisition. Can you find any place where you ask me, you've made so much money, where is this coming from? Instead of all that, why couldn't you just then say how much you're worth? Because you're telling them to go through. No, but you see, it's not about, anybody can say I'm worth this and hide things. What I'm telling them, from you, I've opened myself up to a constitutional body with all the powers that can subpoena bank statements, that can interview people, that can go into your home and get documents. I've told them, please, a lifestyle audit, here I come, here I am, I have nothing to hide, I have never stolen anything, come to me. Because I'm hoping other leaders, actually the ones who cry out the loud about corruption, can expose themselves to that. Because this country has been bled dry by people who get into government. And what do? They start making money out of people's coffers. Okay, we have to move on because of time. And that's why we have Maendeleo Chap Chap that says we want integrity, whereby money that is given can actually be seen on the ground. Time is not on our side now. But again, don't you think this speaks of double speak? You are talking about accountability. Yes. You're saying in your own mind you think this is wrong. Yes. Many people who are accused of things will say in my own mind I think this is wrong. But you should have your day to prove it. Prove yourself, whether you're innocent or otherwise. That's okay, that's why we're in court. That's why actually we're in court. We are not afraid of the judicial system. So we are not saying, don't arrest us. We have actually said we are going to court for interpretation and we'll agree to whatever the court decides. This launch that she did was covered in several live TV stations. And many people would want to know, again, because of accountability, because you're a county governor, where do you get the funds to do this? The funds are out there. Where? We've got a group of different people, well-wishers, who call themselves friends of Maendeleo Chap Chap. And we approached them, and they agreed to actually help us, not only in this airing, but in more activities that we want to do nationwide. Who are these people you're saying? They're well-wishers. They're different Kenyans. Most of them are Kenyans, like you and like me, who are coming up and saying, Mutua, we believe in this. We believe, some of them you can see when they write in Twitter, they say, we believe in you, we want to do this, we like you to achieve this, we think that what you have is good for the country, we'd like other people to actually learn. How much did it cost then? How much did you spend? The media buying, I don't have the total figures because that was being done by different people. But the actual organization that happened, cost about 2 to 3 million in the stadium, putting everything together, and then now the media buying. The media buying was done by other people. And actually some of the media was in kind. I don't want to talk about that because it may even affect your own station. Okay, I don't want to even go to that. But there were, after that launch, there were claims from some people, and let's have a look at what happened there. Now these are guys who are claiming they were ferried from all the constituencies in Machakos County. You ferried them, and that they were promised to be given 500 shillings each, and they were not given anything. And in fact, I think some of them will be talking here. Let's listen.
alitutoa hapa na akatuambia kwanza tunakuja fea kukuja na kuru bado anatuchotea ila mfuko juu tumeacha mabibi homo sio tumetupia gas na sisi ni gavana wetu
kama hiyo ndio maendeleo analeta Machakos ajue Mudhama kina Kalonzo na Buzo hakuna mahali mtu atatokea huku Kambani tunajua Kalonzo Mudhama na code hakuna chama kingine tutajua huku Kambani na mtu mwenye amemdanganya amwambie siasa ya Ukambani asaulike kabisa
atatupea 500 mkutano ikiisha ametupea mkate na soda na mama wetu ametupea tiagas watoto wamefend
it's been said there like you can listen they're saying they were ferried there and this happened after that launch. What do you have to say about that?
And I'm saying I think every intelligent Kenyan listening to the people talking can actually tell those people are planted. They are planted. Those are people we don't know. Those are people who came after the event was done. They went there, they tried to cause a fracas saying they need to be paid because we don't pay people to come to my functions, which is very clear. When people say we are promised money to be paid, we never paid anybody. I don't pay. I should not pay for an audience. You know, people who came brought themselves and they were hard. So, and you can hear actually the people who sponsored them being mentioned over there. They are mentioned different individuals who sponsored them, and they are talking about who told them there. They are coming and say this is a this where this is it. You can tell there are people who actually were brought and sponsored, trying to cause a fracas, and it didn't work. Because the rest of the people were happy. And actually this video was filmed and it was sent by a PR person to Citizen TV. I believe it was only a station.
Sent by a PR person. This is a story that ran on Saturday evening.
I know.
It went on TV on Saturday evening. Unless you can substantiate and say.
No, I was told. I was informed. I don't know how you got the story.
Well,
because,
I mean,
because it's a badly filmed. Because I would expect your reporters to have gone that Saturday or Sunday, found the actual, because your reporters were in town.
This happened on Saturday evening. After the launch. Saturday night. Yes, it's in the evening. I mean, you could see that the sun was just
dark,
setting. It was dark.
And it was filmed by not video cameras.
We got the story.
Yes.
At the end of the day, what are you saying? That that story was fake? That
story was actually, what do you call it? Choreographed. It was actually
can you substantiate that? Because what you're saying is very serious. Can you?
Very serious.
Do you have evidence to say that this story was choreographed? And how was it choreographed?
It was choreographed. My people on the ground, when they went there to ask what is going on, they found some of these people who we don't know actually, who are actually, I can say, not from Machakos County. Some of these people speaking were not from Machakos County.
You can tell from their faces that they're not from Machakos County?
No, not from their faces. I'm saying when my people went there, they found that these people are not even from Machakos County. And these are the people who are actually filming, and they said, ngoja mutaona, hii inaenda, ngojeni mutaona. And it was actually a small group of people, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, I want to finish up. The story ran on Citizen TV.
Yes.
It's a factual story because we had our people on the ground.
Yes, yes.
They got the story and it ran on Saturday on Citizen TV.
They actually, they were the ones who took the footage?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I like to see that.
Right. Finally, you seem to be on a coalition course. We've seen you with the Deputy Governor Kiala, you with Mudhama, sometimes Kalonzo Musyoka, other Wiper leaders. Actually, most of the times Wiper party calls for party conventions, party meetings. You don't go there anymore. Are you interested in still in being a Wiper party member? I
go to the meetings when they call me.
Not all of them. We've been there.
I find some meetings that I'm not called. The only time I don't attend their meetings is if I'm out of town. I'm out of the country mostly. That's when I miss the meetings. And I sent my deputy to represent me. Because after all, he's my deputy and a Wiper. And he goes to those meetings. But, you know, one of the things that makes me sad is that I have received a lot of heat and a lot of opposition in Machakos from the time I got into office, because I introduced an ideology that has never been seen in Ukambani before, and that is the ideology that says focus on Mwananchi, bring development to Mwananchi, don't just talk about it. When I came out and said we have suffered enough, I am going to commit myself, because our mothers kneel down and pray every night for water. Our youth are praying for jobs. When I said I want to be used by God to be a vessel to actually solve the problems of the people, the people who are the elite, who have been comfortable doing nothing, all of a sudden pointed their guns at me, because I was ruining their bread basket.
Finally, will you stand on a Wiper ticket in 2017?
I don't, because it's a very difficult question to answer, because already...
Why? You said you're in white...
Yeah, I'm in Wiper, but already, they have already said they want to kick me out of the party because I'm bringing development. So, if they already want to kick me out of the party because I'm bringing development, I have mimi mwenyewe nimekuwa nikiegemea, nimekuwa nimeng'ang'ania sana kuwa ndani ya Wiper. Lakini kila wakati wananipiga teke, wanataka kunifukuza.
So will you be ready to leave
if they allow me to continue being in Wiper, I'm a Wiper member. I will make a decision when that time comes.
Okay.
Lakini mi sioni vile wananisukuma
Okay.
naingiza mgongo, wananisukuma matako nje, kichwa inaingia, wananivuta nje. Sasa nashindwa, ololo yaye nimefanya nini? Nimeletea watu wangu maji, barabara,
lakini watu wako wengine bado wana complain.
Watu wana complain, na mimi najua wakicomplain nasikiza, kwa sababu walinipigia kura niwahudumie.
Thank you very much.
Hiyo ndio kazi yangu.
Thank you very much. Dr. Alfred Mutua, I'll read this one SMS before we leave. Somebody here, Frank Bondo from Buruburu. Dr. Mutua has the right of political association, but let him respect the Political Parties Act. He should resign and seek a fresh mandate for the people of his new political vehicle, but you're saying you're not leaving Wiper. And then we have Maendeleo Chap Chap, the future model of community development, HECO. That is Liz Kitale. Thank you so much, and we wish you the best.
Thank you very much, and I invite you to be a friend of Maendeleo Chap Chap.
Right.
Yes.
I'll consider that. Well, thank you so much for your time on The Big Question. Thank you for your feedback. Keep talking to us on #24222 on Twitter using the hashtag The Big Question. We'll be back after this break.